All right, guys. So here's oil price action from yesterday. It did break out. It looks like it did manage to retest the breakout zone today already. So as long as we don't go below $57.90, then this could actually start to maybe form another bullish consolidation before potentially moving higher. The target for oil right now is about 8.14%, just because it had this up move and then this sideways consolidation, implying that we may be going another 8% move to the upside. And this also coincides with the Friday, October 24, 2025 pivot high. So that'll be the target to beat, or the resistance to beat for oil. And another one that I wanted to show you, because oil was doing good yesterday, PBR also had a good bounce. The PBR is an oil company. It has $74.28 billion market cap, and it has 8.94% dividend yield. So I actually entered this when it was as low as $11.50. So actually, I think somewhere around here, 11.58%, 11.58 to $11.58. So it filled this gap fill here, right here. So that's why I was confident entering it on the long side. And the fact that this is, if we zoom out to the weekly chart, this is still 80% lower from previous all-time high. So this is why this is one of my best picks for 2026. And the fact that it is at support level, so this support that goes back since 2020, it hit it here. Looks like it might be forming a immature bear flag. We'll see where this goes. If we get a pop all the way up here at 1481, or maybe even as high as 1365, I will start to short it there. But right now, it is definitely at a level where you probably want to hold it on the long side. And then I'm finding another level here in real time, where if price gets here, if price were to shoot up all the way to 1324 this week, if it does that, then that would be a 12% move to the upside. So that is if oil were to shoot up as well. And then the other pick that I wanted to share with you guys today is UNG. UNG is your natural gas ETF or fund. Today is up a little bit. Yeah, this thing went up. Let's see here, from the lows to the highs, it's up like 3% today. And natural gas, if you take a look at natural gas is up a little bit today as well. So this is the weekly time frame. As you guys can see, natural gas almost reached the support level at 315 before bouncing and closing with like a doji symbol or a candle for the day. If this starts to just trade sideways, we may get another push up maybe to 335, maybe even filling the gap fill all the way up to $3.50. So it looks like that area has been cleared, so that level is no longer valid. And if we zoom out to the weekly chart, we can clearly see that there is a huge gap fill right here. And then this level here, we already gapped down below it. So the level to watch if natural gas keeps going lower this week would be $3.1573, and then the resistance to watch on the upside would be around $3.50. So natural gas has some room to run. As you guys can see, if we take the measurement here from previous all-time high down to where it's currently trading, it is still down 67%. So that is why I am long natural gas at the moment. And another good pick is UCO. So UCO, if you're trying to go long oil, you don't necessarily need to just get a stock that is correlated with oil. This one tracks the movement of US oil, and this one is still down a lot. So same thing with US oil. US oil, if you take a look, US oil from previous all-time high, is still down pretty much like 60%. And if you take a look at UCO, this one I think is down even more than that. So from previous all-time high back all the way here, back in 2011, this is down by 99%, and it is at support right now, or it broke down support, but then it's looking like it might want to try to get back into support, which would probably act as resistance sometime this week. So if this could get back above $20.46, then there's a potential that it can shoot up all the way to $21.96. We'll see how the price action goes this week for oil. And then the other one that I wanted to share with you is URA, so Global X Uranium. Today it's continuing to go higher. In the aftermarket, it is still going higher. I could see this going all the way up, potentially retesting this trend line here at around $59.66. If it can go all the way up there, I mean, there'll be some resistance along the way, like such as at $54.86. That would be resistance right there. Another resistance would be up here, and then finally previous all-time high here, or at least that's not actually, this was previous all-time high all the way here. So if we do a measurement from previous all-time high and where it's currently
still trying to get back up, stop embarrassing yourself.
It is still. So if we take a look at uranium here, it is still 63.41% lower than previous all-time high. So this is still has room to run compared to silver and gold. That's why if you're looking for something to go long on, this would be one of those picks. And then TLT might be a good pick as well, because of the fact that maybe the US 10-year yield here will actually fail the bull flag here and not go higher. But if it does go higher, then you probably want to minimize your exposure to 20-year yield right now. But right now, it is at support, so there's a potential we can get a bounce as high as $88.69 in the coming days. It is still going lower right now as we speak. But if this gets a bounce even to $88.72, then that is only 1.61% move to the upside. But just look at how beaten down this thing is. It's also offering a 3.84% dividends. So from previous all-time high down to where it's currently trading, this thing is down 51.35%. Unlike the indices, it's at record highs. Magnificent Sevens at record highs. Gold, silver at record highs. It's just oil, uranium, natural gas that are that might start to play catch up here in terms of valuation. All right, so that is pretty much it. That's really all I wanted to share with you today. As far as the general trend goes for the markets, Bitcoin, if we take a look on the daily chart, just to to have a closer look. Bitcoin right now, it looks like it is stuck here. So this it is above the midline of the parallel channel. We'll see what it does. We'll see if it finds support here. If it does, then it might start to bull flag here, in which case this might actually go up maybe to this level here, 96,000, and then all the way up to 98,000, 99,000, and potentially piercing that and going to 100 to 101,000 coming days. And then if we take a look at gold, gold here had a huge surge yesterday, up 2.66%. It looks like starting to pull back a little bit here. There'll be support here starting at 44.05 all the way down to 43.83 and then 43.65. Silver, on the other hand, same type of deal. It's trying to use this upsloping trend line support. If gold is going to do well, then there's a higher chance that silver will play catch up and potentially go higher from here. These are your levels to watch to the upside, your levels to watch to the downside. And then the Magnificent Sevens, Tesla had a pop and then sort of a sell by the end of the day, condensing the candle to what it almost looked like a doji candle. So there's like equal amounts of buyers and sellers. Nvidia here had a push up and then close the day in the negative. It's not good. There's still resistance all the way up here, 195. There'll be support at gap fill here at around 181. Microsoft is also kind of similar price action to Tesla, like where it formed a doji candle for the day, where there's almost like equal amounts of buyers and sellers. So resistance will be around 478.5. Support will be all the way down here at 473. Meta, on the other hand, is pulling back from this dotted line. That's like the midline of this parallel channel that connects the highs here from August of last year, September, and then the lows here from November. And then it started to bull flag here after this up move here. So this is all just sideways consolidation. If you're a bull, you don't want 640 to be taken out, and you want this to potentially push higher, maybe all the way up here to 790 at some point. This bull flag here for Meta could bring price up another 16.39% if it plays out. If not, then watch out below. Your support levels will be here, as you guys can see on the charts. And then Google here, Google on the after hours, it managed to close above this trend line, but it's still unconfirmed unless it could take out this high 323 from January 2 of Friday last week. And then Amazon had a pop yesterday, but did not manage to get to the resistance level right here, 238. If it could beat that, then the next level will be this dotted line here, which is the parallel channel that goes back. As you can see, this thing goes back since December of 2022 and 2023. This is the bigger parallel channel, more like a long-term parallel channel right here. And this trend line that goes back since April. This is near-term support, near midterm support right now. And then this would be like a near to midterm resistance all the way at 239. Then Apple here broke the level, and it looks like this is the head and shoulders neckline starting to trigger here. If it can't get back above it, then there's possibility this will go down to gap fill at 263, followed by this level right here around 255. And if it breaks that level, there'll be some level right here at around 247. That is the measure move target for the head and shoulders. So that area must hold, otherwise then this could go lower to potentially to 242. And then lastly, let's check out the indices, how they were doing today. So S&P 500 gapped up from this low last week, gapped up but did not manage to fill the gap fill here. So we might fill that gap tomorrow, and maybe it'll push higher to potentially new all-time high. And then the Nasdaq is still below this trend line here. We'll just have to watch what it does tomorrow in the coming days. And then IWM, Russell 2000, did not manage to get to resistance, so we'll assume that the coming days it will try to push higher, potentially to that resistance level. And if it clears that, it could make a new all-time high going to 260 or 261. And then DXY showed like a topping tail on the daily. It did try to push up, but did not manage to break out. So we'll just have to see if it starts to consolidate sideways for the next few days, indicating that we might actually try to break out after all. And then Dow Jones had a nice push up, making a new all-time high, and it's pulled back sharply from the level. We'll see if this continues to move to the downside tomorrow, potentially filling gap fill at around 48,400. All right, so that is pretty much it, guys. Feel free to like if you like this type of content. Don't forget to follow so you guys don't miss out on my next content. Feel free to comment any questions or concerns, or if you have any special requests on what asset you want me to do a technical analysis on, and I would be happy to help you out. Thank you guys for making the time and effort of coming here, watching my content. Feel free to share with your family and friends who may benefit from it. Thank you. Have a good rest of your week. Bye-bye.